Hi, ladies. Okay, so we did leave off with the loyalty and its requirements, the blind loyalty and its requirements, and we were going over the male archetypes of the movie The Godfather. And I want to make this a series because I want people to continue to be hyper aware that men come in a variety. I know that social media has us believing that all men are the same, and to a degree they are through socializing, but character wise, standard wise, god body wise, they are not the same. And so what I wanted to talk about, we talked about Don Vito, and we pretty much left it with Don Vito and his adoptive son, Higgins. And so Don Vito is the father. Don Vito is the people's choice. Don Vito is the champ. Don Vito understands a man is a true protector and a true provider. Don Vito is the family. Don Vito is hyper aware that the family is the anchor and the muse, and everything he does is for them. So when we see that as the standard, we know that that's how we feel as women, men should conduct themselves, right? Or idealistically, right? And so that's why I have him down as the people's choice, the people's champ. Don Vito comes to America in 1901 from Sicily. His father was killed, his mother was killed, and his older brother was killed. So in Italy, you had like Gustafos and Capos and gang regimes, right? And so the Don at the time, I think it was Don Chichi. So Don Chichi is the one that killed Antonio Andolini, which is Don Vito's father. And so the reason why Don Vito was killed is because he wouldn't give the reason why Antonio Andolini, Don Vito's father, was killed is because he would not give a piece of his earnings to the Don Chichi. So these Dons were muscling their own communities, shaking them down, getting percentages of all the small businesses for their protection. So they had mafia regimes that were muscling the locals. And so Antonio Andolini, Don Vito's father, was like, no, I'm not with that. Forget that. I'm not giving you nothing. And so the mafia killed him. So on the way to the funeral, the mother, the whole family is there, but the mother, the older brother, and Don Vito, who was 9 at the time, maybe like 7 or 8 at the time, are carrying the father's casket because they're having a procession for the funeral. The oldest boy, Puello, said that he was going to exact vengeance for his father's death, for Antonio Andolini's death. The mafia was like, no, you're not. So they killed the older boy while they were on the procession for taking the daddy to his final resting spot. So the mother buries her husband and her oldest son. She takes her baby son, right, the only child she has left, the only family she has left, Don Vito, or we could say Vito Corleone. I won't call him the Don yet because he hasn't been initiated. So Vito Corleone, well, he actually is Vito Andolini. He doesn't become Corleone until he comes to America. But so the mother brings the baby boy to Don Chichi, and she's like, hey, my son, you done already killed my husband. You done already killed my oldest son. Can you spare my baby? He is dim-witted. He don't speak. So Vito Andolini was mute up until the age of 9. So the mother's like, he don't speak. Just spare him. He will not harm a fly. So Don Chichi's like, I'm not worried about him now. I'm worried about him growing up and then trying to exact vengeance on me, which plays later into the movie. And so she's like, no, he won't ever. I swear to God, my son won't do it. And so Don Chichi's like, no. And mom picks up a knife, grabs Don Chichi by the throat, and is like, Vito, run. Vito runs, sees his mother get blasted away by the mafia. So the families of the community held Vito Andolini undercover and shipped him off to America. So he gets into the Italian community and quickly finds out the same oppressors from back home are doing the same goddamn thing in the community in America, right? And so we got another Don that's playing with the community. I can't think of this Don's name. It's slipping my mind right now. But this Don was doing the same thing, shaking down Italian small businesses, mafia style tactics, just basically making things tense and unnecessary. And so this is when the Don becomes the Don. And Don Vito makes him an offer that he can't refuse. Don Vito kills this Don that's been muscling the community in America, and then he becomes the Don, right? So initially, these were just some young punks that were stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. And this Don was like, oh, I need some of that. It's 3 of y'all. I'm going to need, what did he say? It was supposed to be 200 a piece. I'm going to need 600 from every lick y'all hit. And then the two friends of Don Vito, they're like, we just gonna give it to him because he already has all of the muscle, all of the guns, all of the whatever. We have nothing. And so Don Vito was like, but it's 3 of us and 1 of him. We can beat him. And so they're like, well, how you gonna beat him? He was like, I'm gonna just give him an offer that he can't refuse. Boom. Magic. I love Don Vito. He's my favorite. And so by then, Vito was already married. He has the love of his life. Remember, this is somebody that came to America with nothing and no one. So cleaving to his wife was the most important thing that he could do. Having his son was the most important thing that he could do. And providing for them was the most important thing that he could do. Remember, Don Vito understands or completed or created a true structure. This is what the boys get the benefit from, which is why all of them fall short. Micheal is the most like Don Vito, but he lacks heart. A heart. Not heart. He lacks a heart. He's cold-hearted. You see the dynamic between him and Kay and him and Apollonia. Like, he lacks a heart. And so I will go on to the other male archetypes in another video. And so once again, until we meet again, peace. Bye.